All right, so what's up, guys? So we are out here on another run, doing this crazy nonsense for all of you guys to enjoy. And we're resetting the watch, getting ready to go, getting ready to rock and roll. Because we're rock stars. We're out here, you know, doing this craziness for all of you to enjoy performing for you. So, in life, there are a certain number of habits, right? Good habits, bad habits, right, that you will partake in. Right? It's very easy, very common activity to become a habit, right? Something that you do, you know, every day and so forth. And, you know, from that, you got to keep an eye on what you're doing, right? Be able to distinguish between what is a good habit and what is a bad habit. And in this video today, we will focus on the bad habit and give you a couple examples of those bad habits you should avoid. So for today, we're going to give you 5 habits that you should avoid. And without further ado, we will go into habit number 1. And this one's very obvious. It is procrastination, right? The act of putting tasks aside for a later date. It can be very detrimental to you. A very bad habit, because, you know, those things have to be done. Right? And what better time to do them than now? Right? Because, you know, by you simply pushing them aside, right, you're still gonna have to do them. And I'd argue that when you go back into doing those same tasks, right, whether that's paper that you gotta do, or a presentation that you gotta prepare for and so forth, right, you're doing it later, it's gonna make it harder. It's gonna give you less time to work with, right? And had you started earlier, it's gonna be a lot easier for you. You're gonna have a lot more leeway in terms of time to work with. And, you know, for you, let's see, because these people are gonna get their light change switch. That bad. So as we were saying, like, even with this, I was procrastinating to a certain degree. Right? I didn't want to run. Right? For some reason, I just wanted to stay home and watch whatever movie I was watching. And, you know, while that may feel good in the moment, right, watching that movie, right, or TV show, whatever I was watching, I don't even remember, but, you know, that good feeling in that moment is a lie, right? Because it's gonna be replaced, you know, with a long-term feeling of guilt, of frustration, right? As far as, you know, you achieving that goal, right? By you not doing it, it's just gonna lead to, you know, those negative feelings, right? It's gonna set you back, and those setbacks are gonna be what's going to drive those negative emotions long term, right? Because we can oftentimes fall into that trap of short-term thinking versus long-term, right? And that's tip number 2, or habit number 2, that you should avoid, right? Avoid thinking so much about short-term things, right? Short-term pleasures, in a sense, right? Think long-term, right? Don't go after the hot fad, right? That crypto, you know, that just came out and everyone seems to be buying today. You know, that people say are gonna make them a lot of money quick, right? The whole get-rich-quick scheme, you know, as opposed to buying, you know, a Bitcoin or the whole S&P 500, right? A longer-term asset. And, you know, it's gonna set you up for future success later on. Right? It's gonna be more stable. Right? It's gonna hold its worth better over time. It's gonna be less risky, because, you know, for you, you want to figure out, you know, what life you want in the long term, right? Although it's good to be happy now and have a sense of, you know, daily happiness, right, day to day. But you want to have a smile on your face, you want to be happy, but you got to figure out the life that you want 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, because that's going to be big. if you start thinking about that now, you know it's going to be a lot easier for you to get there in the future. So do that, right? Think long term versus short term. Don't fall into that trap. And you will go into tip number 3, or bad habit number 3 that you should avoid. And that is to be, you know, hanging around toxic friends. Oh my God, this is a big problem of mine, right, in life. Right, I couldn't cut off those toxic people, right? People that were detrimental to my life, people steering me in the wrong direction, people wanting, you know, to go out drinking all night and, you know, do bad things, illegal things. But I've been asked to do those things before, and had I hung around with those people for long enough, I probably would have done them, because, you know, you are the product of the 5 people you hang out the most with. I don't know if you've heard that saying before, but it holds true. Really focus on who you're hanging out with, because, you know, those people are gonna carry over into your life, right? How they act, their personality, their behavior, and so forth. So realizing that, you gotta cut that bad habit of maintaining those toxic relationships. You gotta cut them off, because, you know, in the end, they're not productive. They're not helping you. They're hurting you. They're taking away from your time and your energy. And you only got a limited amount of that, right, on this earth. So be aware of that and cut off those toxic people from your life. You'll have a better one. And we will go into tip or habit number 4 that you should avoid, is to complain. Stop complaining about stuff, right? It does nothing. It only makes you feel bad, because, you know, what gets things done in the end, what gets you that Ferrari or that Lamborghini or that nice house or that raise that you wanted, is not complaining that you don't have it, but by actually putting in the work and doing it. Because you're wasting time simply crying about it, right? Crying about things that you don't have, right? When that's time and energy that could be spent on, you know, getting what you want, working towards it, right? And oftentimes we can associate ourselves with people that are feeling the same as us, that have those same negative feelings. Yeah. What's up, man? And you often hear the saying, misery loves company. That is damn true, right? Those people, you know, that didn't make it, right, in whatever career that you're in, you find yourself around those people, you're gonna find the same excuses, and you're gonna be an outspoken critic like them, and you don't want to be that, right? Although if that's what you want, then go for it, but realize what you're doing. And when you partake in those activities, right, complaining so much, and, you know, from that, avoid it, right? Like, you know, it's like, you go the guy with the big truck was talking to us, but it's so good, it's all good. So yeah, man, stop complaining. And we'll go into tip number 5, and that is excuses. Right, along with complaints come excuses, right? Don't be an I can't, I won't, I shouldn't, I couldn't person, right? That person's just giving up excuses, right? And you don't want to be like that, right? Those people didn't get what they want this life, right? They have that habit, you know, formulating reasons why they can't, and it's toxic, right? It prevents you from getting there. It almost gives you a sense of complacency, right? It's not necessarily happiness, but it's contentment with what happened, but a negative one. And it gives you almost this false sense of fulfillment, right? You almost feel, you know, sad about it, right? You have these excuses lined up as to why it's not your fault. And the only way to get around that, to overcome that, is you take responsibility. and ownership of everything in your life. Everything. Someone cuts you off, you know, in a car, right? And you get mad, honk at them, whatever. It's your fault, right? You could have done something to prevent it. And even if you think you couldn't, it still is your fault. Like, you still got to have a reaction to what it is that happened to you. And if you decide to make an excuse, you know, it weakens you, but it takes away your power, because you have power over your decisions. You have control of your body. And as you've been making these excuses, you're giving away that power. You're throwing it away, you know, to some outside influence or person that shouldn't be in charge, because it should be you. You're the general, you're the captain of your life. And no, you shouldn't be making excuses, you should be taking responsibility. And one book I recommend is David Goggins' book, Can't Hurt Me, because it will teach you how to take ownership, right? Get away from those excuses, those detrimental thoughts that can pull you away from your success. And find every reason not to be, and be happy with that. But who is truly happy with not making it? So, you know, for you, we hope you enjoyed these 5, you know, habits that you should avoid. Right, and stop doing them, because, you know, they are counterproductive. Right, they go against, you know, what you want to do with your life. Right, productive measures, productive activities, because those are the things that you want to partake in and, you know, enjoy, right, and make use of for your life. So, you know, for that, you know, we say thank you very much for watching this awesome video. Yeah, we hope it's awesome. And, you know, we say goodbye.